our 30th episode of Keeping It Real with TNL. I'm Coach Maury here with Coach Ty, and today we have a special guest, Albert Liu, owner of MetFix Boise. Welcome, Albert.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What is going on, everyone? Albert, welcome to the show. Thank you again for taking time to be on the show. I'll be honest with you. I see that you do a lot of great things in the Idaho area. Actually, this morning, I felt like I learned a lot about you. I got to watch your TIP podcast. So obviously, a lot of good stuff with that. So now we're obviously going to be diving into what's going on with MetFix and all of that big change that's taking place in your life. But really quick, guys, if you're watching the show right now, before we get into our amazing interview with Albert, we're going to talk just one split second about our own once in a lifetime weight loss challenge. I'm telling you guys right now, we have, I think there's only maybe 3 spots left or so. So you're going to need to act now. This is going to be a small group, 6-person max. So we could give you guys the best results. But let me talk about the challenge really quick. This is not something where it's like, hey, you're going to lose like 15 pounds. It's like, no, we're going to be giving you guys the skills that you need to eat the right food, the food that's going to help aiding in how well you perform, as well as the type of foods and the way you need to eat to prevent chronic disease. Not only that, we're going to be showing you guys how to work out safely and with the intensity that you need to burn off fat and build muscle. We're not doing TikTok fads. We're not doing Instagram influencer nonsense. We are the professionals. It's actually funny. We have Albert on the show. Something that he mentioned in a podcast he was on a year ago was we are basically the firearms instructors of fitness. We basically make sure that you guys are doing everything safely, properly, by the book. We're not here just to look good. We're here to get you to look good and feel your best. That's the difference between us and everybody else. They're more concerned about their own egos. We're more concerned about giving you your best life. So if you want to be a part of this challenge, guys, you need to email Coach Lori immediately. You need to talk to me. However you want to get in this. This is going to be something that will change your life. All right. Enough said. Sorry about that. Albert, welcome. Again, pleasure to have you.
All right. So speaking of MetFix, this is MetFix Method's first program. Albert, we'll talk about this too, because you work with specialty populations, coming in with a small group of people that need to lose significant amount of fat that's caused by fat, right? Weight loss challenge, but we're losing the right things in this. And it's the last challenge you'll need because as Albert and I will talk about today and time throughout the show is like, we know the science behind what's happening in the body when we eat and what's going on. We answer the questions. You learn the truth about nutrition, what's good, what's bad, what's amazing. And then you can navigate through life wherever it takes you. You go off the path for a men's weekend with your perfect health and slam some beers and probably barbecue. And you get right back on the path because you know how to live, right? We know what brings about health. So let's dive right into you, Albert, because I love all of our conversations. I'm just so excited to have you with us today. Tell us about your CrossFit journey, right? Your post-running journey, which is fantastic. And then how you started launching your MetFix affiliate. So many things happening in your life.
Yeah, it seems like it's a juggling act, doesn't it? So first, as far as CrossFit goes, I started CrossFit in 2011 to get in shape to get into the Air Force. So I applied for and was selected for Air Force officer training. And I knew I needed to get into shape prior to leaving. So went off and asked a fellow college classmate, hey, what's this CrossFit stuff you're doing? I saw him posting on Facebook back then, 2009, 2010, right? What's all about? So he was using it to get in shape for his Army ROTC days. So it was like, okay, if that works for him, might work for me. So he basically took me over to his CrossFit gym, just there in town, and then took me through my first class. I got smashed by wall ball shots. I was like, okay, I need to do this now. So, yeah, I took class like 2-3 times a week for how many months until I went to training. And then, yeah, it worked. I got 100% on my physical fitness assessment and whatnot when I got there. However, I had an emergency surgery that needed to happen right in the middle of training. I needed to get my my duodenal ulcer repaired. It actually perforated and opened up for some reason. To my surprise, something opened up. and then had to be fixed up, and then basically was medically discharged after that. Unfortunately, went back home, recovered over the summer, and then instead of going to the military route again, which they told me I couldn't go back, I found a real job in the medical device industry. So I was doing quality assurance for a clinical diagnostics company. Actually, their headquarters is right there in Hercules, right next to you guys. So yeah, so they had a division in Irvine, so I worked down there. And so anyway, did that, and then went back to the CrossFit gym, and then took classes for myself to get better. And then so that's as far as the start of the CrossFit journey goes. And then I started coaching, or took my level 1 in 2014. And then that was the same time I found post method through CrossFit Endurance. So that same year I took my L1, I took that CrossFit Endurance course. And then so started helping people at the gym with the general fitness stuff, as well as some of the running stuff. And then it kind of just grew from there.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Thank you.
So you had opened up at that time. It was Audacious CrossFit.
So that
Or what's the-
that came out when I left California and I moved up here to Idaho. So I had been to 2 other gyms after the first CrossFit gym I was at, and then got to help those other gyms out with my own coaching part-time while working full-time, but for the medical device company. And then I just basically thought the coaching world, fitness world, was better. Got to see people getting better in the gym instead of people like getting sicker in the office world, sitting at an office desk looking at the blue light from the computer, fluorescent lights all above, eating like crap, and I just didn't see that world as what I want to get into. So basically, quit my job down there and then bought this place up here where I'm at right now, and then started my gym up right here and then. So I called it Idaho Movement Academy when I first started here.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So that said, we're now at a point where we're going to somewhat skip ahead, and now you're doing the MetFix thing. So obviously, what was your push to want to get on the into the MetFix revolution, and why were you so passionate about being like, hey, I've been in this long? Because obviously, I had read most of your credentials on your website and all these other things. So you clearly have been in the sport world and in the coaching industry. You have all of these certs, all these amazing things. So you clearly know something. So what was it that obviously made you want to jump into this MetFix thing at the start?
Doing CrossFit for so long and being in the educational realm for CrossFit for so long and helping people obviously with it, I got the affiliation back in 2021, but that was like after Greg sold the company, right? So I thought maybe it was going to still move in the right direction as it did before. But over the whole year, I got to really see from the outside looking in, and as an affiliate myself, and from other people in the space talking about CrossFit, and even hearing what Greg was saying even after selling it, that his main mission while owning the company back then was to support affiliates in 4 ways: through education, legislation, litigation, and validation. And hearing that from him, I'm like, okay, what were the owners or current owners doing right now with the whole brand with CrossFit for the affiliates? I was like, they're probably not doing that right now. And I just let my affiliation lapse, and then just continue on as Audacious Fitness, and just kept up with what Greg was doing. And then with him and Emily, started the whole Broken Science Initiative, and I basically latched onto that. I paid attention to everything they were putting out, sharing their stuff, trying to tell people around here what that was all about. I attended a couple of events as well, and just kind of stayed in the loop. And when the affiliation window kind of opened up, when they finally offered it to others, I was like the first person through the door to try to get signed on, right? So I applied, and then was fortunately selected for that to be one of the first 100 affiliates for MetFix. And I saw that what they wanted to do with MetFix was the continuation of what CrossFit was back then when Greg owned it, to really treat people as the best they can in terms of providing them nutrition and fitness help, and knowing that nutrition is the foundation of what uh, optimal living is. I thought, yeah, that's the route to go, instead of seeing what current owners of CrossFit HQ are doing right now. Anyway, that's the intent behind why I want to go on this MetFix route instead.
I love this. I love that. And that makes perfect sense because yes, you're absolutely right. I would say, and I'm not judging, but yeah, I have seen CrossFit is starting to get a lot more fitness-esque and based on more of that when it's like, you're right. As we all know, the original CrossFit pyramid put nutrition at the bottom, and it should be something that should be focused on because without it, everything else is going to crumble anyways. So that makes perfect sense. So the other thing we want to talk about, Lori tells me that you also run your own small group population with seniors. Do you want to tell us kind of how you started that and what how it's been going and what you have plans for going forward? Just the whole entire story there. That's very cool.
All right, we'll do. I think it was last March or April. I saw something pop up on my Facebook or Instagram feed. It was like fit and fall proof classes for senior adults or whatever, how they named it. And this was offered through Central District Health. As far as where we are living right now in the Treasure Valley. So we have different regions where these districts of health operate. And the Central District Health is where I'm in my zone or whatever. So they have volunteer instructors, most likely already retired people, who are leading these small fit and fall proof classes. These are probably all over the nation in all kinds of senior centers and activity centers and whatnot. But they have one here. And the guy who runs it, he's a paid person through that or agency, the state, I guess, or the county. And his curriculum he delivers is I think created through BSU, so Boise State University here, and it's basically helping senior citizens just get more fit, get more healthy, and then ultimately prevent them from falling on the ground and breaking themselves, breaking a hip, breaking a shoulder, head, whatever. So I saw that ad and I'm like, okay, that might be a good addition to what I'm doing already with the general population, the regular people, right? Regular people.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe I'll just look into it and see if I can be an instructor as well. And I saw that maybe as like a funnel too. Like, okay, if these seniors are going to these classes 2-3 times a week, maybe I could also take them another 2-3 times a week at my place and have it all paid for as well, right?
The nice businessman mindset. I see an opportunity as well.
Right. So I did that for a whole year, from March or April of last year till this year. And then through that journey, I got to see all these senior citizens who came over to the church right here, 5-minute walk from my house right here, see all kinds of changes. So they got more fit. So they have this up and go test. So they sit in a chair up against a wall. They have to stand up, walk 8 feet, turn around, walk back, and sit back down. And we see how long that takes. And yeah, their times improved over the months and year. And then at the same time I was offering those classes, the volunteer 2 hours a week of classes, I started offering these free 1-hour nutrition lectures. And I started it probably late fall, early winter last year, and then offered a series of them until basically the March, April timeframe, before I ended it. And I've got to see a bunch of the mostly ladies there who are actually taking the class get really healthy. Like they started taking on the low carb thing. They started eating a little more fat, and so yeah, they started getting more healthy. The weight was starting to be lost, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's only them going to that really limited class 2 times a week, basically, and then implementing some of the knowledge I gave them month to month to month. Very little, right?
Yeah.
Now, through the delivery of that class, I got to see from the CrossFit trainer and coach's side looking in on what the kind of movements, exercises, and stuff that I was only held to through their guidelines, and it was like it's very limiting. We can't get them to squat below parallel. We can't have them press overhead. We can't put them on the ground. So those are like 3 things that stuck out to me. Like I can do way better. So
Absolutely.
I consulted with the pastors of the church. I was like, okay, why not we do this? I can basically say goodbye, thank you to Central District Health, and I could slap my name on it. I think by then I had the MetFix affiliation. So I said, let's call it MetFix Boise nutrition and fitness classes 2-3 times a week at the church. And the pastors were, okay, good to go. So they start advertising it as well. They do Sunday announcements. They remind the congregation there, hey, come over for these classes on these days. So anyway,
I love that.
Yeah. So then, in April, I think we started officially. It's called MetFix Boise Nutrition and Fitness Classes, blah, blah, blah there. Now, that business mind wise is that I started to find out who had United Healthcare Medicare. So I was able to hook that up through my business saying anyone who attended my classes and having United Healthcare could get it all paid for. They basically pay me like $4 a class for 10 classes a month, 10 sessions a month. So I found out who had United Healthcare so I could sign them up, and then whoever didn't have it, I just said, just keep coming. At some point, their Blue Cross or Blue Shield, whatever, will hook up with me. I'm in the process of doing that. So whenever that goes through, then I'll have that way of getting paid for that class as well through them. But so I've been doing that ever since April now, officially. And again, we've seen all kinds of gains from that. There's one lady, actually, I'll give you one quick case study. So Mary, she started sometime after that April timeframe last year. And then she tells me at one point in November, when I held one of my first nutrition lectures, her HbA1c was measured at 12.2. 12.2. And yeah, like however many years of type 2 diabetes it's until now, right?
Yeah.
And then her taking on the nutrition strategies, the prescription we're giving her, and then taking a couple times of class a week. It was like early last month, she told me that her A1C dropped to 7.8. Bam.
Look at that.
Right.
Look at that. Just by already changed lives.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
and it's giving her hope. She even said, like out of her mouth, she says, "I'm looking for gaining under 6." Like she knows what to do. She just gets
Let's go.
right.
I love that.
Right. So I'm just I'm just gonna keep doing it consistently, helping them out because they need it. So
Yeah.
I love that, Albert. Random one as a business, have you ever thought about hosting your own webinar on helping other gyms set up an actual way to use medical insurance for certain classes? Like how like obviously I know that happens a lot at some of the stuff that we go to. Certain people put on little 2-hour things talking about that. Have you done that yet or anything? Because obviously it sounds like you've made it work. You know, the best person learned from the friend who's got a result.
I haven't thought about that yet. I can, I guess. I would say, though, a large portion of the gyms around here, I would say the big box gyms, like Anytime Fitness, 20, all the Planet, they all have that linked up as well. So any senior citizen who has that Medicare program or some whatever the health benefit, fitness benefit, they can see on the map. They can go to any one of those gyms, including myself. But as far as like other affiliates here in town, I don't see like any of them hooked up. So that could be something I could, broadcast to those guys, say, hey, let me help you guys out as well. So we'll see.
Super cool. Very cool.
I love that. That's the most underserved population, right? Or the seniors. And
Yeah.
there are a lot of coaches, like I know of all the coaches we have working here, there'd be just a couple out of 9 that would feel comfortable working with seniors, right? It's like the same idea when people are like, I don't want to teach youth CrossFit with kids. Like they just don't know, or they're not comfortable, or it's a scary thing because you don't get a lot of training on that with just your level 1 or anything, right? So what you're doing is huge. And if you did a webinar, I don't know how it works in other countries, but you gave me the tip of like, call a community center or the city or the county and see what they subsidize
Right.
for seniors as well. That is like third or fourth in line for the 65 plus population that MetFix Method will put out. So we're gonna start, gathering all the information and have all our ducks in a row to get as
Nice.
many people are gonna
Yeah.
specialize small group training, or even just make 10:30 a.m. just senior class and fill it up that way because it's there's pockets of time within the day of your gym
Yeah.
that are busy, and some days there's nobody or one person, and you're like, well, how do we get a population that needs to be served at time that's more than available and make it better for everybody, right?
Right. So I
Yeah.
got to I got this referral to talk to the director of the senior center in Eagle, so 2 towns over.
Yeah.
And I talked to him. I drove over there, talked to him in person. I was like, how can I help you guys? So it's basically, I guess I was referred to him too. So we got to meet, and he was like, yeah, I love what you're doing. So he just said, let's just start a pilot class to see how it goes. And we did like a 1 day a week class per month first, just to see what we could do to help the seniors there at his place with their strength. They already have a fit and fall proof class in place there, so I didn't want to like step on their toes or anything. I just said, let's just do a little more than what they offer already, right? So I did that for that month, and whoever showed up that from at the senior center there, they stayed on. They liked it, so we upped it to 2 days a week, and now it's a Tuesday and Thursday every week class up there. It's senior strength, we call it. And he was Sean was able to actually help me order 5 sets of 10, 15, and 20 pound bars, which are like rubber coated.
Wow.
And not so we started using those for our strength work. So 1 day a week we do body weight on Tuesdays, and then the second day we do barbell work with it. So I've taught them all kinds of some of those barbell movements: press, deadlift, squat, high hang and hang power cleans, muscle cleans. So we've done stuff like that already. All people in rows and columns and in the middle of the floor doing it, uh, and then also doing those nutrition talks as well. So I'm basically replicating what I did with the church here and then putting it up there. Meanwhile, the city of Eagle, who runs the senior center, is paying me directly. So I'm invoicing them every month, and they're paying me per class for that. So that's another way of tapping into, like you said, Lori, like reaching out to a specific city entity or agency and calling them up and see how they can pay you. Yeah.
I love it.
Very cool. I really like your business savvy. A lot of people, because people don't realize that there's a lot of people who have this strong passion for being a coach, and a lot of people may be able to be a good coach, but a lot of people may not know how to make sales, how to advertise programs, how to go out there and bring in clientele, which, as you and I both know, that's a crucial part in the business.
Right.
If there's no one here, then it doesn't matter how good you coach. So just that you kind of locked in both of those and hone those skills, like there's a lot of great stuff that you're offering.
Yeah.
So yeah, webinar would be very cool.
Okay. All right, so we'll switch gears a little bit. You're on the dev team, the development team for MetFix, and I already know the answer because I asked you, but like the way it works, from what I understand, because this is all new, right? We're all learning and developing, and it changes a little bit with every seminar that goes out. But you have specific things you'd love to coach within or train everyone in within the seminar, and you get called up by Pete and you go to the location and you're on the dev team, right? To keep learning so that eventually you're on the academy staff that's presenting to everyone and teaching them. It's the best way I understand it right now. I still have some catching up to do with Pete. So tell us about your experience on that, because you were at Rogue and then you were in Utah, and what you learned as being a part of the dev team, and then also sitting back and watching it 2 times, and then what you're really passionate about and what you want to take on as an academy staff member.
Sure. Right after getting accepted as an affiliate, MetFix affiliate, I just kept it up. I kept up everything I was doing anyway and showing it to the public through the social media, tagging Broken Science Initiative, tagging Emily and all them. I think through that, they got to see kind of affiliates who were showing it all or doing more, I guess, of what they liked. So they invited me and a few others to Boston to their first practice run of the seminar, if you will, some of the main pieces of the seminar. And so I attended that in Boston, got to see the Ross hypothesis for the first time, just going over my head almost. But anyway, after that point, again, keeping up with them, continuing this like self-study, to kind of go back to that material and learn it myself even more. Once it got time to, when Broken Science Initiative, when MetFix started the registrations for the Rogue one, the very first one in Columbus, I went and said, yeah, I'll go. And I think they had put out the emails to the dev team that they had invited over in Boston saying, hey, you can come over if you want. I believe that's how it went. And then, yeah, so I went as an affiliate owner and part of the dev team, which is a bunch of basically affiliate owners and coaches that he liked and just wanted to come and just help, assist, volunteer. And also brought Coach Des with me, so got her to come take the course as well. So my fellow coach here. And us two, we attended the course, and I assisted in as much of a capacity as I could. Like, they signed us to pair off with one of the Academy staff members, trainers, and then we kind of paired off into those breakout groups, and we helped out in those breakout groups. And yeah, that was a good experience. Got to see the material a second time around, a little more polished, and I got to absorb a little more better. And then and then when the time came to go to the Utah one, I knew that was the second one coming up. It was like, hey, it's a 5-6 hour drive. I might as well hit that way anyway. And so I told Pete, hey, I want to volunteer to go that one, help you guys out as well. So he said, yeah, go ahead. So helped him out over there as well. It was a smaller group than it was at Rogue, but it was still good. I got to help take pictures and videos and help interview people as well. So it was good to now see them material for the third time then, which was way more polished as well, and even contribute a little more as well that way. But anyway, that's been my journey with it, and I see it evolving more, hopefully, into, like you said, Lori joining their academy staff and be able to lecture and coach at the same time on staff at these seminars all around. I kind of liken to it as going through the seminar staff training or evaluation that CrossFit HQ had back then, since these academy staff members came over from CrossFit. So I'm guessing they're kind of using the same structure and flow to evaluate potential staff members. So I'm going through that process right now. I submitted like a whole hour-long class video that I coached to Pete for him to evaluate. And then I sent him like another 20 minutes or so of lecturing I did on a specific subject like nutrition. And so anyway, I'm in the middle of that right now. And hopefully, maybe in the future, I'll be traveling down with them.
Very cool. Very, very cool stuff.
Thank you.
So now what I'm interested in, obviously, you had mentioned like some of the stuff was over your head. So most of the MetFix stuff that's been coming out, is it fair to assume that it's stuff that most people haven't learned yet? Even most coaches out there probably don't have some of this knowledge.
Yeah, I would say those who have had very little in terms of science education, so studying biology, physics, chemistry, anything in the past, might have more of a hill to climb while going to the MetFix course and learning the mitochondria and then the nutrition, the science, bioenergetics a little more. Me coming from some biology and working in the world for a little bit, I got to have a leg up essentially. The only thing that went over my head a lot was the whole like, how do I help Ross for the first time? How that interacts with them, that was like new for me for the first time. But ever since then, hearing it 3 times and then being able to regurgitate and teach other people that since then has helped me kind of make it more concrete in my head now. And yes, so I would say most trainers, coaches who haven't done any other nutrition certification or any kind of science education in the past will have a little harder time, but that doesn't mean they've lost their opportunity to try to learn this more. It's just like gives them more of a fire to go learn this stuff, more motivation to learn this stuff, to go deeper. So I think that's the whole key of the whole course anyways, to give an introduction to what this all is, for some to know, oh, they can actually go way deeper in this to help people even more.
Yeah. I almost look at MetFix almost like the graduate school of new nutrition health. Like it's that next level. Like, you know, if most people take like a little 8-week thing and now they got their cert online and now they're trying to help, but this stuff is so much deeper. And obviously that's not going to work. So it's because it's been research. It's actually the stuff that will change health. So that's
Right,
awesome.
right.
So, oh, we're gonna say something. I'm gonna cut you off. Did you have more?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, most of the science we're learning is out there already. Like, you can learn in some college course or when there's free courses online, but the way that's packaged in the MetFix seminar makes it so much easier to understand in that short amount of time. They connect all the dots, going from learning how all our food comes from the sun first, turns into the plant that animal eats, the wheat, the animal, all that makes it very simple and goes from like general and broad to specific, and then that travel in between. We connect it to the fitness, we connect it to the chronic disease instead of it being all so siloed. Taking biochemistry in college, you're not connected to any of that stuff that we're doing today live with other people. So I think that's the distinction between taking like a certification course through like precision nutrition or something versus what we're doing here with MetFix, for example.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you for elaborating that a little bit more. So, also the other thing that I was kind of curious about, tell us a little bit about your actual gym, like, you know, kind of what if you, other than your senior classes, but talk about like what your gym offers and any of that stuff. And then I recently heard that you did Lori's MetFix workout July 5th that she had posted. How was that?
That workout was great. It was spicy. It was open. It was open-esque, if you will.
Ah,
Yeah.
that it's so funny because only we here would know exactly what that means.
Right.
Open air. I could
Feels-
already start to think.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's cool. That's important.
Within this last month and a half or so, I took my gym here that I've been operating off my own property for 8 years now, and then we combined it with my friend's gym down the street. So his gym is CrossFit Magni, and mine was Audacious Fitness. And with my MetFix affiliate name, MetFix Boise, we're basically combining our businesses, combining our people, going over to his location just a mile and a half away, and then eventually gonna just brand it as this MetFix Boise on that building.
Okay.
So I'm taking like 20-ish people from here and then combining it with his 70, 80 people there and having one big community out of that. And it's been a process to onboard their people into the system I'm using here called Level Method. And we can go into the topic of that later, but it was a kind of integration process of all our other people, and it's been good. It's been good. And Coach Mitch, who owns CrossFit Magni, has been on vacation with his family for 3 weeks. They get back next week, but I've been helping basically fill his shoes the whole time. So we have me, we have Coach Hallie, Coach Angela, Coach Des, and then another kind of part-time filling coach as well, Coach Patchy. So the 5 of us have been holding down the fort while he's gone, and then me implementing some of the systems I've been using here with them, and so far pretty smooth, I think. And so one of the workouts we programmed that we're like kind of week behind MetFix programming on the daily fix. So we're taking most of the Metcons basically from the daily fix and then using it as our Metcons the week after. So I took the one that Lori created on the 5th and just plopped it in on last whatever it was, Monday or Tuesday to do. To take the whole class, all the classes through it, and we had fun with it. So
Good stuff. So it sounds like that was a very smooth transition then of the bringing together of the two gyms. Did you guys were you and him friends kind of prior and in the past, or was this like kind of just like, hey, I'm really like he was big on MetFix, you were big on MetFix, you're like, let's just link up, or was this something kind of talked about? Because this is a big merger. Taking this like this.
When I started here in basically March 2017, he started his business up in April 2017 officially.
Oh wow.
I'll go into the story. So when I moved up, my brother actually came up and visited me for like a whole week just to check out the place. So that same week in April, when he visited, Mitch bought the gym from the previous owner, just also down the street, and he actually needed a witness to sign over the paperwork to buy the equipment, buy the people, and all that, right? Not buy the people, but buy the buy the roster.
Yeah.
But he's like, I need
We
a
know
witness.
what you mean.
He called me up and was like, okay, well, we'll just meet at his house. So we literally went over. My brother and I went over to his house in his living room, just down the street, and watch him sign business and basically start the business there. So Mitch, his gym and my gym have been operating in parallel for 8 years now, doing our own thing, just growing our communities. And then along the way, we've helped each other out in some ways. So collaborations here and there. I helped out their people for a little bit. And anyway, it came down to, as far as this year goes, the lease on that building is actually up at the end of August. So it's perfect timing where if we could combine businesses, we could combine our books essentially, and we could basically afford that place even more for the release and all that, like more, and maybe with a longer lease. So anyway, the plan I'm thinking is that, yeah, we continue as one business, stay in that one place, and just grow even more. And I got to see from the outside in, being here for the month and a half now, there is the times during the day when it wasn't being used. I was like, okay, we could start filling these hours with these other special populations like Lori and I know about now. And so I'm trying to just basically find other opportunities to use that space and use the platform we have now, right? Along with the name we have
Absolutely.
now. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, yeah, that's yes, no, that absolutely answers the question, and I really like that too. Well, because it's I know that it's usually tough when you've been doing things just you, and now you're bringing in a partner. So usually we all know, yes, it's always nice to have a mastermind, but you never know how it's going to go. Like once we got these larger stakes, are we really on the same page here? So it obviously sounds like you guys have been kind of on the same page for a long time. Obviously stayed in contact, and you were there to sign the witness, and now you guys are doing this. This is a cool little evolution to hear about.
Yeah.
I
Doesn't usually
agree.
like these. Very,
Me
very
too.
cool. Absolutely.
I love that. And I don't know, like for any other MetFix affiliates watching this, like a lot of people are still struggling with what to do with the affiliate. Then for CrossFit, do they not keep it what they're doing?
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. Like in my case, MetFix Method runs within the walls of CrossFit Seminars, doing specialty programs and things that are separate in that. You guys, you're merging with another gym, a friend you've known for 8 years, working side by side, and just making it a MetFix and filling the space with the specialty programs to keep the day busy and going and serving more people. So I really hope will talk to me and be like, hey, don't forget to shout out Albert's what he's talking about here on these clips from the podcast. It really gives people a sense of like, this is doable. It doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't have to be do or die CrossFit or method. Like, how do we make it all work? And that's going to really help define how quickly the MetFix movement goes across the globe, right? Like we're in other countries now, translated in 4 different languages so far and counting. And and it's just catching on like wildfire because people, the most important thing is health. And I can make you look a certain way with unhealthy modalities. But why wouldn't I just make you healthy from the inside out and then watch the body take the shape it will when we're living the right way, right?
Right,
And
right.
so I love the conversations we have, the texts, the emails, like you always fill my bucket and excitement because that's the one thing no one really talks about when they're debating the difference between CrossFit and MetFix. It's like it's different. You just have to go to a
Yeah.
seminar and you'll get it. But the MetFix community is like nothing else, right? Like we met at the Denver airport with a delay trying to get to Columbus, Ohio, right? And we just recognized each other off of social media. We'd never met before. We spend the flight, you, Des, and I talking. She's in my group, like we're getting lunch together, going to a Kroger to get a chicken and some cucumbers to eat healthy. It's all this crap was like fast food, right? Like when you're in the MetFix community, whether you're an affiliate or not certified coach, the support and like community is like nothing I've experienced before.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming up 17 years on our CrossFit affiliate, right? It's just different, and it makes it a bigger difference because we're gonna put a huge dent in chronic disease and illness and a really crappy food pyramid. I don't know if you saw my post, like, what's the most toxic thing you can keep putting in your body? The lies that the FDA has fed you from their pyramid, right? Like
right.
And then it's like, if a black fan rolls up in front of him, hide me, like, because nobody wants to speak out on these like outdated, false guidelines we've been fed and feeding off for decades, and we just get less and less healthy, more and more sick. That the latest thing that really killed me, and it was on Monday Fix a few days ago, was that the whole 1 in 3 teens, 12 to 17, are pre-diabetic, and then 1 in 4 are pre-diabetic or diabetic type 2. And I was like, I see it now. Like, you look out at a crowd of kids, and you and I know, like, thin people can be insulin resistant and diabetic.
Right.
We hear more Ironman, CrossFit athletes, like top level athletes, are just like stopped in their tracks, type 2 diabetics. One of your clients who's fit and healthy, we're talking about that, and he's like, oh my God, like, you can talk, it's your story, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, we hear this all the time now.
So one of my clients, he's with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office. He's on their SWAT team, fit, Asian male. He's in his 40s. You wouldn't think that he was out of shape at all. Very slender, but obviously he just found out recently that he's pre-diabetic, and more than likely it's obviously due to the high rice diet. Eating rice daily, every day. Obviously other stuff, eating certain foods, but once again, this is somebody who's not out of shape, who's on a SWAT team, who's actually a pillar of health if you look outside, but clearly not the case. And that's exactly how I also love MetFix, because it is that true layer that matters. And and kind of like your story with your client about how she saw that huge change with her A1C. That, to me, that is I don't want to say it, but yes, PRs are cool, but seeing changes in the biomarkers, that's huge, because that is a true pinnacle of, we know that we've basically given you life. And that's how I completely love what genetics all about. But yeah, but that was my story to kind of co-sign what Lori was saying, is that you're absolutely right. Looks aren't all that matters when it comes to what's going on inside. And until you could fix what's going on in here, that's going to obviously improve that reflection outside. Or you might want to learn to do it right.
Right. You could kind of see the evolution of that from how CrossFit started, how it progressed, how it is now, and why MetFix exists now because of that. So there's a distinction made in the course, the seminar, where, okay, CrossFit defined what CrossFit is: constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity, right? That's all movement, exercise. Nutrition isn't in that definition. So what CrossFit's doing is mostly the movement stuff. 80% of his movement, maybe 20% nutrition. They touch on the nutrition a little bit, right? In the course itself, the L1. Now, MetFix is a complement to that. They're essentially flipping that on its head and saying we're going 80% into the nutrition and science of it, and then 20% the movement, really. So it's a complement, like Lori said before, about keeping both the affiliations if someone's still affiliated, and them complementing each other. Taking the nutrition knowledge and science knowledge that we gained in the MetFix seminar, and then injecting it or making it more part of the service we're delivering to the clients we have at the gym. So on the daily programming, for example, when I lay out for the week, I'll have a couple sections or a couple little parts of the programming 2-3 days a week. Well, have some type of video or some type of question or a poll. Were you aware that there were 63 grams of sugar in a Slurpee on 7-Eleven on July 11th? That day I put in a little thing about that. 63 grams, which is 15 teaspoons, right? So I just kind of made people aware of that. And, that stems from now knowing how nutrition is important and putting it as part of the daily programming now. Like, that's what I'm doing with the seniors too. And it's like making nutrition now more part of the conversation, which can lead to more business too. Like if you keep kind of nudging people about this, they'll pick up on it and then start wanting change. And you ask them, hey, so do you want to change? Do you want my help? So we start scheduling nutrition consultations and coaching and whatnot. So that's another revenue stream I think maybe a lot of gyms kind of have been missing out on, which I think can be beneficial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Almost done. I was going to ask you something. Now, this is going to also kind of get a completely off topic, but it was something that I liked that you mentioned in another podcast. And I want to know if you could elaborate on it to business owners, because it's going to take a special mind to understand this concept. So you spoke to the concept of Wu Wei and the act of non-resistant, but obviously are on that blanket term, it's almost like non-action. But it doesn't quite mean non-action. And I want you to explain, let's say that I'm a business owner who's basically struggling. I can't get people in the door. I am doing everything and I feel like resistance. How would you tell me to use Wu Wei in a situation like that? Because I'm sure that you won't tell me to stop doing everything. But how would you, like I said, I know that this is kind of a deep question, but I think that it could lead to a pretty good conversation.
Okay.
So what would you say if I'm actively trying to build up my gym and I'm giving that resistance? I'm gonna fly out, hitting the window, even though there's a door open behind me, possibly. How would you tell me to deal with that?
Oh boy, a really good question to bring up actually. So Wu Wei, the background is it's like a Chinese or Eastern philosophy thing where it's action via non-action, or you don't force things. If you've watched this one interview that Bruce Lee had with some UK-based like news talk show person, he says, and in that interview or the video clip, he goes, "Be like water." So water always goes from upstream, uphill to downhill, right? So downstream. There's no forcing the water downhill. And then I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit too. So with my background as being a pose method running technique specialist, we learn how to use gravity to our advantage when we are moving, including running. So we know, okay, we have to let go. We have to let go tension and trying to propel ourselves forward in order to move forward. So the whole letting go or non-action Wu Wei concept is that I think it's doing the best you can with what you got, obviously, but also keeping your ears open and listening to the people you have already who you're helping. I think ask them more questions to understand why they're coming to you for the help in the first place, but then also what could you help them more with. That might open up more doors to more opportunities, perhaps, right? They're coming to you for the fitness, the workout of the day, right? The having fun hanging out. But could there be other stuff you could be helping them with besides the exercise? I always said that like if I had 50 moms and dads coming to me already, could that mom or dad bring their kid over if theoretically had one kid each? That would double my roster immediately, right? I had 100 people instead of 50. So that'd be awesome. Like, could you think like that? Maybe, right? Or if that husband or wife has already come to you, it's 50 of them come to you, can you somehow get their significant other or husband or wife come in as well, or some way? I think that might open some doors in people's minds. Hopefully, if people are stuck. So keep an open mind, listening, asking more questions, and being creative. I think that'd be a way of doing it where it might help. Oh, the act of leaving your four walls, getting out of your four walls of the gym and into the community more. That's another way as well. I think of not forcing it, saying that you're just a human in your community. Be a part of your community, not just in the community for four walls in the gym at the box. You have local parks you can get to, the senior centers, the city's activity center, like all these different high schools and sports teams around. Like say to them that you have a specialty in helping people get more fit, more healthy, better performance, and say that you have the ability of helping their people out as well. And I think again, not forcing those issues, just saying, "Hey, I'm here. I got the flag," and just see if they respond. And if they do, then go with it, right? Go with
That's awesome.
those who have their door slightly open and not trying to break that door open.
Yeah.
Love that. So that was so first off, you obviously answered that question very well. I knew that it was going to be one of those that we kind of had to navigate, but I think you knocked that one out the park. And hopefully anybody who is watching this is going to pick up on that because that's some solid advice. Actually, Lori used to do that. She used to train the Cal High Grizzly cheer squad here because that was obviously her daughter was there. She's obviously now has an in, and that literally had us almost like 10 to 12 girls here almost every Wednesday night. Like you're absolutely right. That's a big deal. That's just, and that's not her.
Just a big deal. It was.
Yeah. So like I said, those are huge opportunities, kind of like that, where she was willing to get out there into the community and just be like, hey, I'm here. How can I serve? And obviously it ended up paying off. And a lot of people, you're right, they don't really see that concept. They're just kind of either hoping that I'll stay at the gym and they will come, or hopefully like just kind of just throwing out Facebook ads, advertising, like just hoping and praying, yep, I'm gonna start getting members, but and then they start forcing that. They start forcing, and then when it doesn't happen, we know. Then we start to change our thinking. Well, maybe this isn't going to work, and that usually sends people kind of downhill, and they don't even think about some of those other avenues, either within the gym or right outside of their door, that they could literally create something amazing to bring in membership and obviously overcome some things that they may be struggling with trying to get their gym off the ground.
I'd like to bring up this one example that I've said before other places. I also written up on my blog. I don't know if you got to see it before, but when you were doing the research, this is the U.S. Army Special Forces, right? The Green Berets. We know about them to a certain degree, but a couple of their primary missions is unconventional warfare, and then is it something else? But they work by, with, and through the local populace of whatever country they get tasked to go to. So they have 12 people on the ground at some other country, and they set up their own little base, their box, if you will, with a certain number of specialties that they have, and communications and weapons and all the kind of stuff. They help the local populace out by bringing these people in from outside into the base to train them in this unconventional warfare, XYZ, whatever. And then from there, they take the local populace and send them out back to their own villages and communities and cities, and then they are able to create their own armies out of that. So it's force multiplying a army that's a group of people who are, like-minded as well. So I think I kind of see what we're doing as in parallel. That we're these special people, these special skills, to go out into the local community here, outside of your four walls, and recruit all these people around, saying, "Hey, this is how we can eat. This is how we can move. Train yourselves this way, so you can now enact that same effect on their schools and their churches and their workplaces." So they spread that message out even more. So those people who you're face to face with every day, they get to take that message on to their other communities they're part of. And I see it, we're just doing the same thing. We're conducting unconventional warfare and teaching people how to truly eat and truly fight chronic disease, right? And go against what basically our government, our agencies have been telling us for so long. They've been lying to us all the time. So we're the freedom fighters, truly. Doing the whole thing, just like these guys in uniform are doing overseas, other places, right?
Yeah, that was another great analogy. You're very good at that.
Yeah.
I like your analogies.
Thank you.
Stuff there. So that about wraps up the main interview part. I don't know if Lori has anything else.
It's time for random questions that we get to throw.
All right. We're going to be on the rapid hot. Obviously, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's going to be basic stuff, but some good questions that it looks like I have question one.
You got, and I know what question three is going to be. That's why I leave it pretty quick.
Okay. So question one, obviously, I had listened to your story on the TIP podcast, and I heard about me and you have a lot of things in common about the whole passive income, house, leaving your main job to want to be a coach, all of these things. So I'm just curious. I usually only give people one just to make it somewhat easier for you. I'm going to give you three. What are your three favorite books? Three favorite books.
Ooh. Rich Dad Poor Dad is one to start off with. And then How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah. Classic
That
Dale
one.
Carnegie.
I've been giving his high school seniors graduating that book. Some people I got to know around here. That. And then what's another one? Third one. I'm looking on my bookshelf right now. I would say, okay, here's the one. It's called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. Digital Minimalism. I think it's going to help people kind of navigate our world today with the technology stuff.
Oh, good stuff.
Oh, the How to Win Friends and Influence People. Tim has read to Ashley at bedtime, cover to cover twice, and when she was younger, she wanted story time, and he read that to her not once but twice. Great
Wow.
book. Which means I got to hear it twice too, because and she's well, yeah, you can watch her podcast. She's quite the driven 17-year-old. There's people in their 40s and 50s that don't have a business mind and drive and it's want to serve like we do. Like the three of us in this room have that passion about doing that. Which is my question to you. What is the second specialty population group that you plan to work with or would like to work with, even if it's not in your plans yet? Because you're crushing it with the seniors. Like I would say you're the go-to person for this, but what's another group?
Oh, thank you. I think the vets, veterans and first responders are next. So I planned out this one day that's in September, Saturday morning, September 6th. We're gonna have a veterans and first responders workout and coffee hour. So
Nice.
basically, an hour and a half of them, anyone in the community who are vets or first responders, to come to the gym to take part in a short workout, and then also uh, just talk coffee. And this
Yep.
coffee is going to be sponsored by a local coffee company here in town, created by a veteran and a former police officer as well. And he's going to sponsor
Yes.
by doing the coffee and also lead the discussion and amongst all the vets there. We have Mitch and Coach Hallie, who are former Army National Guard people, and a few other handful of vets in our member population as well. So I invited all of them out to try to come that Saturday morning as well, and then try to through the coffee company's channels and networks, and some of the networks I've set up is trying to advertise to the local community here. Hey, any vets and first responders come out that day, just take part in this quick little workout and just take part in camaraderie, if you will. Just network and see how maybe they can engage in a process like come to us to get help, to get through their struggles they're going through, as well as advertise Jared's the owner of the coffee companies. His whole foundation set up. So he takes the profits from his coffee company, funds his foundation to send vets and first responders through PTS treatment programs and classes and stuff. So we're trying to kind of lump it all together. And if that goes well, maybe do a recurring thing and then host more of these vets and first responders at the gym to help them on their health journey as well.
I love that too. I might have to reach out to you. One of my former SWAT team members is the podcast. He started the podcast, the Overwatch Collective, and so he obviously does all that with huge events with vets and getting them services. And he has a very successful podcast. So if there's like any type of advertisements that you could either give that I could have them share on their Instagram, because they're all about getting vets the help that they need to obviously get through life successfully, because nobody truly knows what some of them have dealt with and faced.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely cool that you're a part of that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So the next question number 3. This is one of my personal favorites. If you could basically have, let's just say, dinner with anybody dead or alive, anyone ever, and you could ask them and talk to them about anything you ever wanted to know, who's that person going to be?
Oh boy. Probably JFK.
Ah, okay. Do you want to go into a little bit of detail on what?
This is just the first guy that comes to my mind about. I think him knowing how the government was working when he finally took office, he tried to warn people, tried to make some change, but then people didn't want him to do that. So I think
That's
maybe to
cool.
find out within his head what was he really thinking about trying to show people the light. That'd be cool to find out.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool. I'll be at that dinner. I'll just sit beside and listen. That's all. All right. Speaking of dinner, because everybody's always looking for the healthiest, delicious recipes. I know the Daily Fix does a great job, but what is your favorite go-to Albert Meats good protein and fat meal that you don't have to like rattle off the whole recipe? We can, we can send them your way to get it. But what's your go-to staple healthy meal?
I'll tell you this week's dinner. So I went to Winco and got this one big chunk of like round steak, whatever, right? And put into my slow cooker, my crock pot with beef broth, with existing kind of broth from previous weeks as well. But I also bought a package of beef feet. Beef feet.
Uh-huh.
So that's what they have that at Winco too. And so I got a package of that, which is like, was it about 2 pounds of it? So like 4 little, I guess, hooves.
Wow.
A lot of fat, good skin on it, all that stuff within that same crock pot. So I started it on Sunday afternoon or evening, and then I have it for the whole week. So I just rat out a whole, like one of those hooves or whatever, and then like some strands of or some, I don't know, up to 8 ounces maybe of the beef I have in there, and just eat it all like that. So
that almost sounds like one of my meals where I do it's a chuck roast combo with oxtails. And I do the oxtails, kind of the fat, kind of that juicy meat to go with that leanness, and then it all cooks all together. So every bite still feels tender, even though you got a nice lean piece of meat in the crock pot. It just adds that little extra touch, and it's obviously perfect. It tastes amazing. That's a very good combo.
There's
all right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to ask you your last question, but no, keep going.
I was gonna say, so at the market, if you can find beef heart. Beef heart's like, oh, good, tender. That's some of the best meat, right? And then, like you said, beef oxtails. So I get that periodically as well. There's like what's it called again? You know what? I don't remember right now. But those cuts of beef that normally people don't eat are like one of the best parts. So I would encourage people to eat those parts too. So
yeah, and then like you said, cook in a crock pot. Once everything is in there, it's like, oh, this is pretty amazing.
Yep.
I'm so hungry. It's my stomach. I ate breakfast at like 6. So Ty's like, her stomach's going crazy. I'm like, I wish you guys would bring me some food right now.
Right. So last question, and this is going to be something, obviously, once again, that references your old podcast. There was something that you said that I liked. You said you did a lot of research prior to making your move. And Idaho and Utah were the 5-star states. So me and you were basically like 2 shifts in the night. I got up to Idaho in 2011 and I left in 2014. It sounds like you kind of came there a little bit after me, like we just kind of missed each other. And I was going to ask, do you still feel like it's a 5-star state after being there now and obviously seeing it grow and seeing it expand a bit? I remember back when Eagle was literally still kind of being built up to what it is now. And so seeing all of those changes too, because I was up there maybe 2 years ago. But do you still feel it's a 5-star state personally? Do you still love it like day one?
I think so still. It's still a smaller state in terms of population. It's grown within the last 4 or 5 years, right? But I think the opportunities here are all great. That there are companies like Micron here, for example. They're building 2 fabrication factories essentially for their chips, the microchips and semiconductors and whatnot. So there's gonna be a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities, a lot of money, a lot of revenue here. And even like Meta or Facebook, they're building a big data center down here as well. A lot of jobs with that potentially, right? And then just the like-minded people who are coming here from the other states to try to boost this culture up even more and to keep it as like, call it like the last bastion, if you will, of free thinking and doing things, in the name of freedom. I think it's still a 5-star state to come to. I think So basically, yeah, if you're out there who want to come here, who have that same mindset, who wants to improve the community and do what we're doing, living freely, then yeah, you're more than welcome to come up.
That's a nice. That's a nice.
When I can see Californians still come up here and ruin his state.
Exactly. No. I mean, that
That's how it was when I moved to Nevada. I thought they were gonna like charge that. They were like, another Californian's gonna ruin the Nevada. And I was like, I just came here from grad school. It's fine. I know.
No, I was laughing about that because I remember back when I was nervous to go up there because obviously I had heard rumors and being black, I was like, oh my God. And then I got there and everyone was like, no, I don't care that you're black. I just hate you because you're from California. But black and he's fine with me. Like that's like a joking thing that like people would always say. But Idaho will always hold a very special place in my heart. That's where I lost the 200 pounds and that's where I kind of changed my whole entire life. So I will always be in Idaho. Like I will still be going back time and time again. So we'll probably definitely have to cross paths. I'd love to talk to you in person.
Yeah, come to the gym.
We will. All right.
Right.
Other than that, if people want to get info on MetFix Boise, can you let them know your Instagram? Let them know how to kind of contact you or anything like that?
Yeah. Right. Go to www.metfixboise.com. As well as on Instagram, it's MetFix Boise. And then, yeah, if you want to email me personally, guys, just to albert@metfixboise.com. That works too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being taking the time today to podcast with us. You're great. You're one of my favorite people. I feel so blessed to have met you so early on in the movement before it gets so big. I feel like we're going to have to work harder to keep in touch with everybody all the time, right? Because it's
that's right.
MetFix is gonna. I'm telling you, global domination. Like we are healthcare now. That's how I feel. I'll say it out loud. If we ever get a budget for a new high-speed rail from California to Boise, we'll support that in California. 50 million later, we got we always laugh about that. But no, I'm so happy to hear that Idaho is still a freedom-loving, good place to be that supports family and community and each other.
Yeah.
And flights to Boise out of Oakland are now down to $79. So
oh wow!
You might go without me. I don't know. It depends on how busy the gym is, but you might get to see Tim and I, or just Tim soon. We need to go visit his mom, anyways. She might move back to Reno, believe it or not. So I'm not sure how much longer we'll have family ties.
Oh, I see.
And she's in Caldwell, right? Yes, I'm so bad. I've only been to Idaho 3 times, but it's quite lovely. So
you know what? If by some miracle maybe we do a MetFix seminar here at our gym, then yeah, you just definitely have to come up, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I'll volunteer.
maybe someday.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for everything. Have a great rest of your day. To our viewers, stay consistent and classy, Ramon. That's all we ask.
Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Albert.
Thanks, Lori. Thanks, Ty. Appreciate it. Bye.